Hey guys, and welcome to WrestleRant edition number 11. I am your host, Graham GSM Matthews, for today, and my special guest host here for today, my brother Jackson, helped to review last night's September 1st edition of TNA Impact. They were on the road in Alabama last night, and to kick off the show, they had a segment with Hulk Hogan, Kurt Angle, and Sting. As I mentioned last time in my review of TNA Impact, their combined age is over 150 years old, which is something that the fans do not want to see. I don't want to see Sting versus Rick. I don't want to see Sting versus Hogan at Bound for Glory. The man just had 8 back surgeries. I don't want to see him in action and potentially kill himself, and then goes for Flair. So I'm pretty sure no one wants to see a match happen that could have happened 15 years ago back in WCW. But overall, this is a strong segment that hyped the main event match, the World Heavyweight Championship between Angle and Sting. But overall, a decent segment. I'm just not liking the people involved there. And after that, we had a Bound for Glory match between Gunner and RVD. I was expecting for Gunner to pull through this one, for possibly Jerry Lynn to interfere, which he did, which is RVD's stalker, that he has been costing him matches over the last couple weeks. I'm not too hot on the heel turn for Jerry Lynn. I mean, it was expected, but he's kind of past his prime, but still an awesome worker. They had RVD and Jerry Lynn in a hardcore battle back at Destination Next a couple months ago. I wouldn't kill myself to go see over a rematch at Bound for Glory, but at least they're building something with Rob Van Dam and giving them something to do going into Bound for Glory. And Gunner gets the points too. Unfortunately, it doesn't help him because the 4 people are set: Beer Money, Bully Ray, and who's the 4th one? Oh no, and Gunner is the 4th one. So we're going to see Gunner, Bully Ray, and Beer Money go for the Bound for Glory #1 contendership come No Surrender next Sunday. So after that, we had all the knockouts in the ring. After that, we had to address the Knockouts Law or something like that between Tracy Brooks coming out there and the pervert Eric Bischoff. Tracy Brooks was set to become the Knockouts Law or whatever the hell it's called, but then it was Karen Jarrett who took over the angle. Her name is Karen Angle. There used to be Karen Angle, I'm sorry. Then took over the spot as Knockouts Law and will be in charge of the Knockouts division from here on out. Not really too much to say about this. Karen Jarrett is a nice pick, even though she knows nothing about wrestling. She's a nice heel persona that we can get the Knockouts something to do in the meantime. Could make for some good storytelling for the next couple weeks. Could be like the Vicky Guerrero of the Divas in management. Then after that, we had a decent match between Jesse Sorensen and Brian Kendrick, the X Division champion, defeating Austin Aries and Kid Cash. It was about a 4 or 5 minute bout. It went by a little quickly for my taste, but that's what the X Division is kind of all about. The main highlight of this match was obviously Austin Aries, who is a brilliant heel in the X Division, as you can see. Austin Aries, a former Ring of Honor competitor, has the potential to be something great in the X Division in the next couple weeks. And after winning the #1 contenders match last week in the Gauntlet, hopefully we can see Austin Aries capture the title from the stupid, unorganized, unprofessional Brian Kendrick. I mean, did you see the stupid ring gear that he had on? That just dumb.
He looked like an Indian.
He looked like an Indian. He looked like a little kid coming out to the dumb music, even worse than before. Hopefully we see Austin Aries take the belt off him come No Surrender. So then after that, we had the Divas. Why do I keep on saying Divas? I'm so used to saying Divas. They're knockouts, but whatever. I mean, knockouts used to wrestle. Remember there used to be a sign out there that said, Divas pose, knockouts wrestle. But knockouts don't wrestle anymore because this stupid storyline crap with Winter and Mickie James and this blood, and the vampire, and the stalking, and all this crap that's been going on for the last year.
I just don't understand why they have the vampire stuff. It's not even realistic.
It's not realistic. Wrestling is never realistic, but this is just bringing it to an all-time low of just stupid Twilight crap that no one wants to see. And adding to that fact, Mickie James and Winter had a pretty good match over the Knockouts Championship, but adding to the fact, Winter only had the belt for 2 weeks. She only had the belt for 2 weeks before dropping the belt back to Mickie James. Yes, Mickie James did score a record win with her 8th national title victory to become an 8-time women's champion all around the WWE and TNA, but I'm not sure what this accomplishes for Winter. It destroys any momentum that she had. I'm hoping that the storyline with Angelina Love and Winter ends here. It only been through so in TNA management and creative team. Pretty sure it won't. But hopefully we see some more. I mean, Mickie James isn't even special anymore. She's like another knockout in the knockouts division. She doesn't do anything for me. She puts on decent matches, but her character is just completely died since leaving WWE. Even in WWE, she used to wrestle, but now it's just nothing. It's just all this knockout crap. So, anyways, after that, we had Matt Morgan and Samoa Joe brawl after that. I mean, not really much to say here. Matt Morgan's returning from injury in a couple weeks. I heard it's going to be Matt Morgan versus Samoa Joe and No Surrender in a all-out brawl. Matt Morgan, I was hoping for him to win the Bound for Glory series. He obviously can't now that he's injured. He won't be able to compete and get any more points. But I'm not really sure. I don't remember any past feud between Samoa Joe and Matt Morgan. They could have a pretty good match. They have pretty good chemistry. No Surrender. But this brawl was pretty much useless, but it did get Matt Morgan back in physical activity for the time being until he can actually wrestle a match come next Sunday at No Surrender. So then after that, we had the rematch from Destination X between Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles in what was an awesome match, but it was 7 minutes long. I mean, it was 7 minutes long, but the only disappointment here is that they had a 25-minute match at Destination X. They had a 25-minute match where AJ Styles picked up the victory. I mean, they had a very high-paced match here. This is obviously the match of the night for me, but high-paced, high-risk match here. But hopefully it's just a preview of a potential rubber match between the two at No Surrender or Bound for Glory. Because after that, if you recall, Daniels picked up the win clean because AJ Styles botched a move off the rope, and I'm not sure if that was planned or not. And then Daniels picked up the victory. And after the match, AJ Styles went to go shake his hand. Daniels did one of these, and he just walked off and kind of, was smiling like a heel. Again, Jerry Lynn turned heel earlier in the broadcast, and you got Daniels turning heel now. Two people turning heel in the same broadcast doesn't, is a little too much for me. I don't want to see Daniels turn heel. They have the Excellent Fortune faction. I'm not sure where Kazarian fits in all of this.
It just shows that TNA doesn't have good creative team. They just keep on doing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly.
Like with Samoa Joe.
Exactly.
He's like the crazy guy.
He's done the same thing for years, but as you speak of that they're doing the same thing for years, it's very nice that you mention that, because they did do this rivalry 2 years ago between a heel Daniels and a face AJ Styles over the World Championship at No Surrender 2 years ago. At Turning Point and Final Destination. So, I'm not sure where they're going with this. Hopefully, I don't want to see Daniels turn heel, but it's obviously coming after this. So then after that, we had our main event match between TNA champion Kurt Angle and Sting, a rematch from Hardcore Justice, the special guest enforcer Hulk Hogan. Obviously, if there's ever a special enforcer for any kind of match, the ref is going to be knocked down. And the ref got knocked down here. This match is only 6 minutes long. I mean, I kind of expected that, because the match started at 10 before 11, and obviously Spike never goes in overtime. It always ends on time. So this match never really got kicked into second gear. It went really, really slow to people hitting finishers. Sting hit the reverse DDT with like 3 minutes into the match, and then the Scorpion Death Drop, and then Angle hit the Angle Slam like a minute later, and they both kicked out. And after that, Hogan got interfered. All this crap with Immortal and everyone getting interfered. I mean, it's typical TNA overbooked finishes. Obviously, this thing always happens with TNA and overbooked finishes.
Yeah, plus, like I said before, they've done that match before.
They did that match
Except for Hogan.
at Hardcore Justice. They did that match 2 years ago. They did that in an empty arena match a couple years ago. I guess it's just to fill time until they do the eventual Sting and Hogan crap or whatever they're going to do about it before. I hope that's not the case. But, whatever. A lackluster episode of TNA had some moments. The highest moment for me was AJ Styles versus Daniels. But overall, a not good edition of TNA. But also featured but by the way, after the main event match, we had Mr. Anderson return in a Stone Cold like way again. But I don't know what the crowd is thinking about Mr. Anderson. He's turning heel, face, heel, face, heel, face. So I'm not really sure where his character fits in all of this with Bully Ray and all that stuff. But anyway, moving on. Also featured in the broadcast, they were hyping the return for next week of Jeff Hardy, who hasn't been seen since Victory Road after his match with Sting, his 32nd match with Sting. Upon his return, which is something I didn't want to see happen, that they're bringing in his personal issues between his drug problems and his legal problems. They're going to write that into the TNA writing next week, and the TNA booking. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. I mean, I really don't want to see, after everything that just happened with Matt, I really don't want to see Jeff being judged by management very badly. But I do want to see, I wanted to see Jeff Hardy stay heel, because Jeff Hardy was an awesome heel. I mean, he made for a great character on television, but it looks like he's going to come back as a babyface and get a live mic next week to talk about his issues and coming back. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Just imagine, like, being Jeff Hardy, people, like, saying, like, since, like, his drugs, and I don't really think he wants to talk about that, even though he's, like, a complete idiot for doing all that crap.
He wants to move on. He just move on with his career, just turn babyface, because he got all these heels in TNA now, especially with the Kurt Angle turning heel.
He did all that stuff after leaving WWE, saying he would come back.
Exactly. I'm not gonna. Don't even get me started on that. Don't get me started on Jeff already come back and backstabbing the WWE, and he's probably never gonna go back now, because I heard even recently that that Matt Hardy, that WWE has banned superstars on Twitter from mentioning Matt Hardy. So that kind of tells you that WWE isn't gonna take Matt Hardy ever back, especially after Matt Hardy's recent YouTube video that said he was retiring from professional wrestling for the meantime because he has so many injuries, and being as old as he is, he can't compete on a constant basis. So anyway, that does it for TNA. Also, we have a small topic as wanted by Jackson here between ECW and NXT, the differences between the two shows. On this past week on NXT, we had an alumni night where they talked about the past alumni in NXT history over the past 16 months or whatever the show has been in existence. And NXT is kind of boring me at this point. You don't watch NXT, but this season of NXT Season 5 Redemption has been going on for 26 weeks. 26 weeks, that's almost half a year. They've been going at this stupid season since March. Everyone wants us to see it end. They're not going to let it go. And they have a Season 6 after this, too. They have a Season 6. I don't want to see this. And as you said, ECW is better than NXT. Surely.
It's actually on TV. NXT
exactly.
is on the internet. Look how many people that actually watch that.
That's because NXT got booted because SmackDown went to Sci-Fi. But I think ECW does better ratings because no one wants to see people from ECW compete on a constant basis and have zero storylines and have the same matches every week because they have Derek Bateman, Titus O'Neil, Darren Young competing in the same matches every single week. And ECW had pretty good matches with, Christian, William Regal, John Morrison, Shane Payne.
They actually brought back the extreme stuff at the end. Sometimes.
They had good wrestling. They weren't extreme. I admit that. But ECW had good storylines in its last run. And, they had their own championship. They had a lot of good storylines. They made it on pay-per-view. NXT just isn't doing that for me. So that just closes that. I mean, it just ruined the letters. They could have rebranded it into NXT but without taking the real superstars off the show.
They have Hornswoggle.
Don't even get me started. We'll just end it there. NXT is one of the worst seasons ever this season. But anyway, we're going to have to end it there. That was our review for TNA, NXT, and ECW for this week. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, save_us_GSM. And to follow me on, and to visit my Bleacher Report profile as well, and to read my latest article, Pushed to Punished on MVP, my latest series returning every Thursday or every week or so on Bleacher Report. Make sure to follow all of that. Make sure to follow my links below and check out my latest articles and all that stuff. And to also check out the news, rumors, recaps, and more on my personal website, nexterrawrestling.weebly.com. Jackson, I'd like to thank you for joining us this week on TNA Review and the 11th edition of WrestleRant. Hopefully we'll see more from you in the future. Thanks, guys, for checking us out. And this is GSM and Jackson signing out.